We are one of the leading companies in terms of margins. We deliver growth, top line and profit, and we have been doing that in the past years as well. So we are a successful company. However, our aspiration is to accelerate that growth. And to keep doing what we're doing, we will continue to deliver same levels of return. But if we want to deliver more to our shareholders and also more to the different stakeholders, the communities, the nations where we operate, we need to up our game. And we have seen some of the tech giants, how they grew. Maybe they were the same size like us 15, 20 years ago. When we started, none of them were there. And we look now at their market caps, at the returns they offer, and we feel jealous. And that was really a motivation for us to say, we want to do more, we want to be and more, and we want to really up our game and evolve, using also the fact that we have this huge customer base in the region, and hopefully grow that also in a bigger region in the future, and leverage that to offer a lot of different services for individuals as well as for companies, governments, SMBs, and all.
So take me into some of the elements of this change as well with regards to the material impact that we're going to see on the business. You said we're seeing a rebranding of divisions, but also significant change on the inside as well. What is happening specifically?
I think with this announcement, we are signaling both to the market, the stakeholders, but also to our staff that we will work differently. So inside the company now, we are having different pillars. So we're having the telecom company in the UAE as a separate division. We've already announced in September a CEO for that company. He's already on board doing a great job. The international telecom, which includes our international telecom investments, is also a separate division. We also have announced the CEO for that company. We hired him from the outside, very capable gentleman. We also then divided our digital services into digital consumer and digital enterprise. Also, we have announced the CEOs of both divisions. Both are internal, have been with us. And in addition, today we announced a fifth area, which is new. We are still in the process of getting the right leadership for that, which is E&D Capital, which is going to be an investment arm, a mixture between, say, venture capital and private equity. So it will look into investing in startups, but also in mature businesses where we are looking more at minorities. So while the other areas are very operational, where we have controlled entities, some of them will have even other companies underneath, and the E&D Capital will be investing directly into ventures, into other funds, as well as in stakes in other technology companies where it will build value for our shareholders.
So what's your market share in the home market now, and how do you see that changing as a result of today's announcement?
Actually, I think the market has stabilized here, because when you get to a certain point, you end up seeing small fluctuations. So I think there are many ways to look at the market. I think that when you look at the market overall in terms of value, so money-wise, how much we generate in the home market, how much do we generate? We're about 70%, they are about 30%, which means they're quite sizable as well. But then you can measure it by subscribers. I think it's a bit closer by subscribers in the mobile part. If we look at the fixed part, because we have the highest fiber network penetration in the world, we are a bit ahead in the fiber and fixed part, so it fluctuates. But I think the 70-30 in the overall, let's say, revenue side is a good indication of that.
Okay, and you're currently operating in 16 markets, as I understand it.
Correct.
So looking outside of the UAE, how do you see that changing, and what's the timeline when it comes to expansion now as a result? You said you're looking further abroad for growth, so
yes.
Where is it going to come from?
We're looking primarily at the moment at markets that have geopolitical stability, as well as a mature regulatory environment. I think we have in the past, been in markets which were a bit more, let's say, frontier. So we're now looking at more stable markets. And the reason for that is, even on the telco side, we want to create more diversification of sources of revenue and sources of profit, as well as currency stability as well. So at the moment, I think our key focus, we're exploring opportunities in Europe and Asia. And of course, in terms of timeline, it can take sometimes a very short time or a long time, because you have to have there is a willing buyer, but there has to be a willing seller, and there has to be a deal that makes sense to both. So we have learned through the expansion. As you know, Etisalat at some point had almost 20 markets. We scaled down to 16 because we said we want to be only in markets where we are making making money, and therefore we have learned a lot through this process, and we have very tight investment criteria. So finding these markets, not that easy, but they are there, and hopefully within the next 18 months we will get news of further expansion.
Okay, can you give me an example of a country in Europe or Asia that you're actually targeting?
Unfortunately, I cannot do that because some of these, let's say, countries we're targeting, we're a listed company, they're listed companies, so that would affect, these. But, there are opportunities that we're looking at. And I promise you, when something materializes, I'll come to you first.